So I want to talk about Disney.
Disney.
So we just got through. Here's the thing: we're all in the service business,
Yes.
and we just got through one of the busiest weekends in the service business.
Yes.
And a number of times now, everyone's heard this in orientation somewhere along the way. You know, some jackass in your orientation probably quoted something from Disney.
I believe
And I'm
that.
not talking about the political like movie side. I'm talking about Disney service like in the parks.
So, like, strictly hospitality.
Because for,
Disney's
like-
hospitality.
Yes, for like 30 years, Disney was the gold standard, right?
No, we had a guy working here from Disney at one point.
Yeah, he was after the gold standard.
Yeah.
And he was a schmuck.
Still is.
But
We're
for-
talking about the good times.
Yeah. So we're going to talk, like, I'll reference what I think happened.
like mom and dad times.
Yeah.
Well, so is this just Disney in general, though? We're not like park-specific hospitality. We're just talking about their hospitality principles.
Yeah, but those come out of the parks.
Okay.
Those specifically come out of the parks.
Right.
And they come out of the parks in the 60s and 70s and early 80s.
Okay.
And then it went downhill.
yes.
So the whole, like, guest, not customer, team member, not employee, all this shit, right? First of all, we need to preface this. Disney today in the parks is a dumpster fire compared to Disney in the 70s.
Oh,
They don't do that shit either anymore.
Oh, they just banned strollers.
They say the words, but they don't know what the words mean anymore.
They're just quoting them.
They're just like, yeah, they're our team members.
Well, they rake in so much money that
Oh, dude, it's like $262 for a day pass.
yeah.
It's getting worse.
Yeah.
It's worse than a ski resort.
Yeah.
But I get so tired of businesses being like, we want to be like Disney. First of all, even if you want to be like Disney, all right, when the team members, not employees, and guests, not customers, came about, first of all, Walt Disney was still stocking Disneyland.
Yes.
And the stuff that they did there to build those teams, like to build camaraderie between employees. I mean, like massive drunken camping trips, like drunk parties in the park, kayak races around Mark Twain's Island. Like, they got away with murder.
Like good team
They
building
had
exercises.
fun together. The
Yeah.
reason they were team members is because they liked each other.
Yeah.
So we get this weekend. I was corrected multiple times. They're team members, not employees. I'm like, you know what? We're smoking the shit out of them. They all hate their jobs. They're working like 16-hour shifts. They're 100% employees.
Yeah. They're 2 inches above slave labor at this
Yes.
point. Yeah.
And if you look at your value ratio, right? Like the cost of what you're charging versus the quality of what you're offering.
Okay.
And those two balance out to somewhere around mediocre, average, what other people are doing. They're not fucking guests. They're fucking customers,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But they say this shit and they're like, they're our guests. I'm like, you don't listen. Just because you want this person to treat that person better, you don't get to just give them titles and hope that it happens.
No.
If here's a pretty good example. If all the managers fucking hate their job,
Oh,
pretty fair chance all the employees hate
the
their job
employees
too.
really hate their jobs.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you know that you hate your job and you're still putting on a face to try and convince the employees to like their job, you're just a schmuck. Like, all you're doing is embarrassing yourself.
I mean,
Yeah.
most of them can see through that anyways.
Oh, yeah, they will.
Oh, if you have a good set of like coworkers, you all know how each other feels.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Plain as day.
It just gets so frustrating hearing this bullshit, right? Like, overcharged, mediocre product by people that don't want to be there. And you have to listen to people say things like, they're our guests. That person's your team member. Or even better, the people using the royal we. And you're like, shut the fuck up.
Oh.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Listen,
How do you use the royal we?
I don't use the royal we.
Well, how would you?
You know, it's like in a marriage when you start saying like, we are going to go to this party together. Kevin.
Generally, it's a manager speaking to a lower manager. So here's how it came up. Superior asked employee if they could cover shift.
Okay.
Then employee comes to me and says, do I still need to cover this shift? Do you think we'll be busy enough? My text to the who is also my boss was, do you still need so-and-so for shift X? And his response was, in quotations, we still need her tomorrow. Motherfucker, you started the process. You reached out. You made the request.
There's no we.
All we does in that situation is dismiss agency. And by dismissing your own personal agency, all you're doing is trying to make yourself less accountable. That's the only real effect of that situation.
Yeah.
By using the royal we, you're taking your agency out of the picture and dismissing your accountability.
Yeah. Not. Oh yeah, I did ask that person to cover that shift.
Yeah.
And I think we still need it. What do you think?
Yeah. None of that.
No.
I just get so, and it's always, dude, it always comes from Disney, like Disneyland. All right. I actually know people that worked at Disneyland in those times, and I've heard the stories.
Yeah.
And you're not doing that. Whatever business you are, you're not fucking doing that.
Yeah. Because here's the thing, you're not Disneyland,
And you'll
Yes.
never be Disneyland.
and you'll never be Disneyland.
More importantly, you're not Disneyland in the 70s.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's the thing is, it's 2020 ish, right?
Yeah.
It's 2020s. That was 50 years ago. You don't think the times have changed? Then you need to update your book. That
Yeah.
was a problem we had in hospitality, in timeshare. And we weren't always trying to be like Disney though. We were always trying to be like the Four Seasons.
Oh, yeah.
That was the comparison in timeshares. Be like the Four Seasons. Four Seasons. And I always told people, I'm like, no, we shouldn't be like the Four Seasons. You know why? The Four Seasons doesn't have fucking timeshare. The Four Seasons is a fucking hotel. And you know what they do? The same shit that the Hilton does. Guess what? Because it's all the same book. You just change the title of what company you're working for.
Yeah.
Because when I went from Wyndham to Diamond, I started reading the book and I'm all, oh, I know this book. I read this book. It just had Wyndham in charge of the names that now say Diamond. And you go, oh, these are the same policies. You have the 5 and the 15 rule. Okay. Answer the phone within 3 rings. Okay. Sure. You got it.
And so much of that's just standard now anyway.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, remember a guest's last name and refer to them when you see them. Okay. Sure.
Dude, we have the columns of whatever, and they pick one every quarter.
Ooh.
Used guest names, steal it off the credit card. I'm like, that works for some guests, and some guests are just annoyed by it.
Right.
Like, how about you just have a genuine conversation with them and see what happens?
And you're fine.
Like, how about we not be disingenuous? How about we not try and play tricks?
Yeah.
How about we
Introduce yourself.
just treat guests like we actually care?
Well,
Except that the higher ups have to treat them like they care too.
Yeah.
You can't
yeah.
charge $23 for a crappy quarter-pound frozen hamburger or
Fair.
eighth-pound frozen hamburger and throw it on a giant golden bun and be like, yeah, it's totally worth it. No.
that's a $500 burger right there.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's a $12 burger.
Tastes like a $3.
If that tastes like $3. Yeah.
Yeah. It just frustrates me because I know what good service looks like, and it's not that.
Well, and the thing is like in when I was in timeshare, right? I feel like the training I got from Wyndham was exceptional. And that was realistically because Wyndham was basically like trying to fire you the second they hired you.
Oh, dude, I've worked for casinos where I was told by directors, literally, write everyone up as often as you can and get them to their 3 write-ups as quickly as possible so that if you need to fire them, you can.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
That's just most casino businesses, though, at this point.
That's definitely most casinos, but
And the only thing, it's Nevada. There is no punishment outside of paying unemployment to firing someone. You can fire someone whenever you want.
Because it's not a right to work state, right?
It's
It is a right to
borderline
work,
a right
right?
to
Is
work
it
state.
right to work
It's
state?
not a right to work state in the way that Arizona's a right to work state, but we're walking the path.
we're getting there.
But yeah,
Yeah, no, but the training I got there, right? I thought was fantastic. And then when I went to Diamond, it was like, oh, okay, cool. Everyone else here is doing the same training. Like, it's a little lacking because Diamond was like 5 years behind Wyndham. That was the joke. We were always like, in 5 years, this company will be just like Wyndham, and it'll be terrible. But until then, it'll be good. But now I go places, and I still have like 10 years of hospitality training. So like I'll stand somewhere and I hear the phone ring and ring and ring. And I'm like, for fuck's sake, nobody can pick that thing up after 3 rings and just say, I'm with someone. Can I put you on hold? Like, it's simple.
Well, even then, like
Simple.
you guys